that that's really neat. And then a neat program that a lot of my students from this area are taking advantage of through our business school is our STEM or our creative path to an MBA. And those are actually 5-year undergraduate programs where you can either choose a STEM undergrad degree or a creative undergrad degree and get an MBA through Alabama in 5 years. And it's not just a 5th year MBA, you actually start taking business classes with the cohort your freshman year all the way through. So that's something pretty neat with us. College of Communications. I love our College of Communications. If I had to redo my experience over again, you might find me here. And gosh, I can't say enough great things. We are one of just 2 communication programs that has a full-time commercial TV station on our campus. And so you'll see that bottom picture is WVUA 23. That's the equivalent of having WRAL or ABC 11 right in the middle of your campus building. So it's fully run, fully staffed with a full-time staff, but there's a lot of opportunities for student internships through WVUA. Next to that, you'll see a picture of Alabama Public Radio. We also house the NPR affiliate. Both of those facilities are within our digital media center, which is a fabulous, fabulous state-of-the-art facility. So a lot of great stuff going on in there. In addition, I have to mention that we have one of the top 5 public relation programs in the country. They have a great YouTube channel if you want to learn more about all the neat things going on in communications at Alabama. We have our College of Education, which offers a lot of degree programs in K-12 education. Also houses our kinesiology program, which kind of seems like an odd place for it to be. But it is connected to our physical education program. But you'll also see a lot of our pre-physical therapy students doing work through kinesiology under our College of Education. Another unique kind of program tied to that College of Ed is our adapted athletics program. And that's a big thing at Alabama. We, 2 years ago, opened the Stan Hardin Adapted Athletics Arena. It was a $10 million investment in adapted athletics, so wheelchair tennis, wheelchair basketball. We've won national championships, and we do a lot of research in that field through our College of Education. So some neat stuff going on there. And then this is a bread and butter major, especially here in Eastern North Carolina. We're actually one of the 5 first colleges of engineering in the country. So we've been around a long time. And some things that we're really big into, we're very big in the auto industry and also the aerospace industry. So I know I mentioned our ties with Lockheed Martin already. So we have it on the business side, but we also have it on the engineering side. So the one picture there shows our astrobotics team. We won 5 back-to-back robotic mining competitions. So we're national champions in that regard. And then we're one of 16 schools in the country that's taken part in the Chevy Eco Car Challenge. So we work with Chevy. We're on our 2nd round of that, and that's a 4-year competition. So we're on year 5 or 6 with them. So in addition, we're also 20 minutes down the road from the US plant for Mercedes-Benz. So some neat stuff going on in there. And then a new major in our College of Engineering is a combination with our School of Music and Audio Engineering. We're now offering a musical audio engineering program, which is pretty cool too. College of Human Environmental Sciences has a lot of different majors within it. So everything from fashion and hospitality to dietetics and nutrition and public health, which I think is going to see an increase in popularity, as well as a world-class athletic training program. And then our capstone College of Nursing. This is another very popular major with my Eastern North Carolina applicants. Very successful program, $52,000 average starting salary, a great NCLEX pass. But just like most nursing programs, it is competitive to get into. So you'll see some of the averages of what we look for when you apply to upper division. And that's something that if any of your students are interested in nursing, make sure they're asking all the colleges and universities what acceptance into the nursing program looks like, because it is usually competitive. And I like being able to give my students the statistics as well. And then rounding out our colleges, we have our School of Social Work. And you can go all the way up to your PhD in social work with us. And in addition to just what you think social work encompasses, our school is also really great in public policy and advocacy. We have a lot of ties to Washington, D.C., and writing policy. So kind of ties to the law school on our campus as well. So we will have some pre-law students major in social work and do some internships in DC. And then you'll see we have domestic and international field placements. So a neat program and a great school there as well. I also need to mention our honors college. A large majority of my students will apply for honors college. And you'll see you need a 3.5 GPA and either a 30 ACT or a 1360 SAT. Honors College at Alabama is customizable to your experience, somewhat similar to picking your classes in high school. You have a lot of options, but at a minimum, you have to take 6 classes at the honors level over your 4 years, and one has to be your freshman year. We do a lot of programming for honors college students. All optional. We have a program called Honors Action where you can move to campus a week before all other students and do community service just with honors college students, which helps you build your community. We do offer honors housing, but you're not required to live in honors housing, and just a myriad of other programming available. And then to the right, you'll see 2 program names that are grayed out. Those are smaller programs within our honors college that are more competitive. And again, just using local context, if you've heard of the Park or the Moorhead or the Robertson or the Levine Scholars Program, our version of that is the University Fellows experience. So if you're a student that's interested in Park or Moorhead or Levine, please give us a look and please look into applying to University Fellows with us. Above that is our Randall Research Scholars Program. Research is something that we find to be really important at the University of Alabama and something that we try to give our undergraduate students access to. This is the more competitive program. We bring in 40 students a year and they get to do one-on-one research with a faculty member all 4 years of their undergrad at Alabama. We have a less competitive program called Emerging Scholars that you can start your freshman, sophomore, or junior year. But we find that to be something that if you're interested in it, we really want to get you connected. Randall right now, I know Randall and University Fellows, that sounds overwhelming to be one of only 40 freshmen coming into a school of 38,000. But my Eastern North Carolina applicants have been really successful. I have 2 Randall Research Scholar Programs students right now, one from Panther Creek High School and one from School of Science and Math. And I have another one coming in the freshman class from Panther Creek and School of Science and Math. So 2 of them coming in the freshman class right now. And I have a University Fellow student from Holly Springs High School. So don't count yourself out. If you're interested, do apply and check that out and let me know and I can give you more information. Now with 60% of our students coming from out of state, we're well known for our Merit Scholarship Program. The information that I have on the screen is from this past year. So this current year high school seniors. We usually release our updates in August. So at the moment, we're proceeding as if our admission cycle will be similar to last year, but know that this scholarship information could change. So check back in August for updates. But we usually look at your weighted GPA through the first semester of your senior year, and we will take test scores through February of your senior year into account for these as well. If you have the GPA and you have the test score, you will be awarded the scholarship. It's not competitive in that we only offer 100 of them. We give them to every student who qualifies for them. Foundation, UA, and Presidential will bring it down so that our tuition rate will beat in-state tuition, match it or beat it. So that's important information. In addition, in the past, we have not super scored test scores. They have to come from one test session. There is a possibility that that could be changing. So again, with the changes of ACT, please just hang tight until August when we'll release that information. And we do offer those merit scholarships through May 1 of your senior year. For some reason, a lot of people in North Carolina don't find us until later in the admissions process. And so sometimes we get some late applicants. But if you have the GPA and you have the test score, if we can get you admitted by May 1st, those merit awards are good for you. Now, in addition to the merit-based scholarships that I shared, our College of Engineering usually adds additional merit scholarship money for the presidential and UA level scholarships. Very well known for our national merit scholarships. And then our top 8 students selected through the University Fellows Program will also get an academic elite scholarship. In addition, we have a scholarship application to be considered for additional awards. And I highly encourage all of you to apply for any scholarships that you can. So make sure that you're submitting scholarship applications. It's not required, but I highly recommend it. And this is a great place to kind of talk about our application process and our deadlines. So at Alabama, we are technically a rolling admissions school. So I know on the last page, I said you could still apply by May 1, and if we get you admitted, you can earn the merit scholarship. So yes, that's true. But to be considered for any other scholarships outside of the merit scholarships, we have a scholarship application. You usually need to be admitted by December 15th of your senior year, not just applied, but admitted. And then once you're admitted, that will give you access to the supplemental scholarship application, which has traditionally been due on January 1st. Again, these dates could change, but that's usually what we've used. For us, applying to Alabama is like peeling an onion. The more that you want from us, the more we will ask of you. But at the admissions level, we're going to be one of the simplest applications that you'll complete for your senior year. Our admissions application traditionally is released around July 1st. It is very short, sweet, biographical information. It shouldn't take more than 20 or 30 minutes to complete that. We have a $40 application fee. Then we require an official high school transcript, which most of my North Carolina schools will not release until the end of September. And then we need an official SAT or ACT score sent to us directly from SAT or ACT. Once we have all 4 of those items, we consider your application complete. We usually start reading applications around Labor Day. And so if you have all those items in by the beginning of September, I would say you would have an answer from us by early October. And so we're releasing decisions throughout the fall cycle. Once we really get into the busyness, it's usually a 2 to 3 week turnaround in September, October, and November of once your application is complete, when you'll hear an answer from us. I say it's like an onion because the more you want from us, the more we will ask. So once you've been admitted, you'll then have access to supplemental applications, like the application for our scholarships, our honors college application, all our program applications, like the Blunt Scholars Program, Randall Research Scholars, University Fellows Experience, etc. A lot of those programs have early December deadlines. So that's why I think it would behoove you to go ahead and apply early. I honestly think we're one of the best applications to start with first. Student life on our campus, you are required to live on campus your freshman year. Princeton Review ranks us as having the 13th best college housing in the country. So our students enjoy our housing. We offer 600 different clubs and organizations. Athletic-wise, we have D1 sports, but we also have club sports, intramural sports, 2 recreation centers on campus, an outdoor pool, an indoor pool, an outdoor rec program, adapted athletics. So if you like to stay active, we should be able to make you pretty happy in that. The performing arts are also really big. I know I mentioned under the College of Arts and Sciences, but we will be having a new $60 million performing arts center coming aboard with 4 different sized venues. Our $1 million marching band is one of the top 10 marching bands in the country. So lots of great stuff in the arts. Greek life, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that. And if you look at the student picture to the right, you'll definitely see Greek letters represented. About 34% of our students are involved in fraternity and sorority life. If I didn't give you that number and you went down to Tuscaloosa and drove through the campus, you would probably think it was more like 60 or 70%. Our Greek houses are absolutely stunning. There's nothing like them in North Carolina. So they are fantastic. They're larger than our president's mansion, to give you an idea. And 92% of students who are interested in going Greek are successful in that endeavor. And then study abroad, we have had students in 60 different countries. I like to mention our forensics team, pre-law in our law school is phenomenal. Our forensics team is our speech and debate team. They have the bragging rights to the number of national championships with 21 on our campus. Our football team only has 17. So the speech and debate team is top dog. And then visiting UA, right now the campus is on limited operations. And so we are still operating under virtual visit opportunities. We are offering a 360-degree web tour on our YouTube channel. With some other 360-degree videos that will also be connected to virtual reality soon, which is pretty cool. And then we are offering weekday information sessions, and these are really neat. This allows you to connect with the College of Communications or business, or meet with a professor from mechanical engineering or a current student. So we have a menu of those Monday through Friday right now. Once we reopen campus, another thing that I think is really neat is we do offer what's called the VIP campus tour. That's usually if you visit Monday through Friday and you give me 2 to 3 weeks notice and you give me the entire day, I can usually add up to 4 meetings on top of a campus tour for you. So let's say you're interested in engineering. I could get you over to meet with an electrical engineering professor and take a tour of the engineering facilities, get you with honors college, get you a STEM MBA, all on top of a campus tour. So again, I think we do a lot of really cool things to give you that personalized attention. And then we usually offer open houses. We call them university days as well. I know that was a lot of information. This is my contact information again. And then just let me know if I can answer any questions for y'all.
How supportive is your school of undocumented DACA and international students when it comes on to financial aid, please?
Yeah, so I will tell you, I've worked just with my Eastern North Carolina population, and I haven't had a lot of students apply who have been undocumented or have disclosed that to me. And so I haven't had a lot of experience with that just from our territory. And then we also house international admissions. I have other colleagues that work through that process. I will tell you that we have I want to say 1,600 international students on our campus with 78 different countries represented. I want to say that Kuwait is our top country, with China behind it. And I have a list of the top 10 that I can give you as well.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And we have here one in the chat from a student asking about on-campus housing requirements and if it's possible for them to live on campus all 4 years.
Yeah, great question. It is possible to live on campus all 4 years. The culture of our campus is most students will choose to move off campus. We have a very thriving off-campus housing market. A lot of times you can save money by moving off campus for your upperclassmen years. However, our National Merit Scholarship does include on-campus housing for all 4 years. So a lot of our National Merit students are staying on campus. And then also just another neat thing to know if you didn't know this already, but if you do want to live on campus all 4 years, you may be interested in working for the Office of Housing and Resident Life, and you could be a student worker for them and earn on-campus housing or meal plan or a prorated amount for that as well. But yes, students do stay, but a majority of them will move off campus.
Thank you. And another question is, if you could just let us know why University of Alabama could be a good fit for a student coming from Durham, North Carolina.
Yeah. I think, first of all, we have to see if we have your major or program. If we have it, you then have to determine if it's the best fit for you or not. But I think it's a really great experience. We're an outstanding institution, and it gives you the opportunity to move away from here and experience something different. Obviously, you have a lot of great college options in the state of North Carolina, but when you go to one of those campuses, a lot of your classmates are going to be from North Carolina. With us, 60% of students are not from Alabama. They're from all over. Your freshman year, most of the time, you're going to live in a 4-bedroom suite style housing experience. And most of the time, your roommates are from 4 different states. So I think that there's a diversity of perspectives on our campus. I absolutely love the traditions that we offer. I love just the breadth of programs. And I love that you can go to a big school, but get that individualized attention. So if we have your program that you think you're interested in, please reach out to me. I'd love to see if we might be a great school for you. I know with the merit scholarships too, a lot of my students can look at us and get an out-of-state experience and something different for a price that compares to their in-state options, which also makes it a great experience too. And I'll just give you an incidental story from one of my Durham students that's down there right now. His name's Ben. He's an aerospace engineering major from Riverside High School. He's in his junior year, so went down freshman year, had a great experience, became an Avanti, which is an orientation leader for the summer, stayed in Tuscaloosa that summer. After that, after his sophomore year, he went and worked at NASA in Huntsville as a camp counselor for space camp. This year, he's doing an online program with NASA on Tuesday nights, and he was just down in Florida this week for the shuttle launch that didn't quite happen yesterday. But he's loving his experience. The other cool thing is, even though you're 10 hours away from home, we have a nice community here. We have a local community called Roll Tide Raleigh that supports our students and families. So they do game watch parties in the fall. So my parents, I call it kind of the parent support group, can go and talk to other parents and just have a support network and group to kind of support them.
Another question is, if a word comes to mind in describing your campus culture, and why is this word the most appropriate word choice?
Let's see, one word to describe our campus culture. I think vibrant is what I'm gonna say. I truly feel like there's a home for everyone on our campus. I used to say you couldn't hide from a football game on a Saturday, but I have a student from Apex who is very into engineering. He's involved in our Formula SAE race team. He doesn't like football. He goes and works on the Formula One race car on Saturday afternoons and is loving having that experience. And I have my students who are in Greek life. Our homecoming parade is unlike anything you've ever seen. We do a tradition called pomping. And there's just something always going on. Like our gymnastics team is one of the top programs in the country. And so you will go to a gymnastics meet. I assure you that, because we sell out our Coliseum and they have pyrotechnics going on. It's just a really neat campus with just everything and anything you could want. And I think also because such a large percentage of our students are from out of state, we know that we have to provide entertainment and support for them. Our first year retention rate is 86%, which is very high. The national average is 62%. And it's that high with so many students coming from so far away. There is always something there for you to do, and that's why I would choose the word vibrant.
Thank you. What resources are available on campus to support students who may be experiencing mental health and/or academic challenges?
Yeah, so I'll tackle the mental health aspect first. Obviously, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Mental health is a huge priority on our campus. So we have our counseling center, and we even have kiosks on our campus that you can walk up to and take a quick mental health survey on. So I think that we're on the forefront of mental health. I know in Greek life, they offer mental health seminars that they can get Greek points for. It's part of obviously our orientation process about learning about all of our facilities and programs. In addition to just the Student Counseling Center, we have the Title IX office, and we have the Office for Women and Gender Equity on our campus. So there's a lot of different layers of services available. And also just some of the undergrad majors that we offer also make us very akin to mental health. You know, with our School of Social Work, obviously we have a psychology program. We have a lot of really neat stuff going on in that arena. As far as academic services, we have the Capstone Center for Student Success that is open to any student on our campus, but we have a couple bridge programs that we bring students into. We have our Crimson Edge program. We offer free tutoring to our students, and even when we went online with COVID, they were offering online tutoring services. We have a writing center and a math lab. We also have a speaking studio within our College of Communications to help our students develop public speaking skills. So definitely all the services that you want to have available are available. The one thing that I always tell students that is a difference between high school and college is while the services are there, you have to take the initiative to connect with them. That's one thing that I think is really important as you transition to college. It's very easy to hermit in your residence hall room. You need to get out, you need to get connected. And it's one thing to know that these services are there, but not only just for your sake, but also watching out for your friends and your roommates and getting them connected too.
Thank you. And to add to that, could you provide insight on services or resources for first generation or underrepresented students?
Yeah. So I know I mentioned living and learning communities already. And so we have two programs for first generation students on our campus. We have Lucy's Legacy and we have Bridges. And they actually can come to campus early and they live together. And they have a whole breadth of programming their freshman year just to kind of help give them an extra safety net. Same with the Crimson Edge program and the Capstone Center for Student Success. So those are just 4 initiatives on our campus to kind of support everything. We do obviously have an Office of Diversity and Equity and Inclusion that's led by Dr. Taylor on our campus and Dr. Pope as well. So we have that support system in place. So definitely a lot of stuff in there to help support our students.
Could you, going back to Greek life and it being such a large part of your campus culture, could you tell us about the multicultural Greek life scene on campus?
Yeah, so we have 4 different Greek councils. So we have Alabama Panhellenic, which is what you would traditionally think of when you think of sororities. And we have Interfraternity, which is probably what you think of when you traditionally think of fraternities. And then we have the National Panhellenic Council, which are our African American fraternities and sororities. We have 8 of the Divine 9 on our campus. And then we also have the United Greek Council, which is the 4th council of fraternities and sororities. And those are all sorts of different fraternities and sororities, anything from an engineering and a marching band fraternity and sorority to an LGBTQ fraternity and sorority. So we have a wide breadth of different opportunities and options for students. And if you visit our fraternities and sororities website, you can learn more about the different councils and the different chapters that are represented on all of those campuses. We have a Greek info session offered virtually right now, and then we have a webinar on there too. But a thriving life, but also not a necessary part if you don't want to go Greek. I have a lot of students who choose not to go Greek. So while it's there, again, know that 34% of students are doing it, but there's a large percentage of other students that aren't going Greek as well.
And going back to campus life and traditions, could you speak on one of your favorite traditions, or to speak on for Alabama?
So one of my favorites is homecoming week in Tuscaloosa is just so full of school spirit. Pomping is part of Greek life, and it's the sororities that Alabama Panhellenic sororities make murals that are mosaics, and the girls will work probably 70 hours that week on these mosaics, and they're pieces of paper that they make little balls, and they do these very detailed murals, and they're larger than life on the lawn in front of all the sorority houses. And then they also go and paint the windows of the businesses downtown and get ready for the homecoming parade. And so there's so much tradition just wrapped around our football team, from I'm wearing my houndstooth jacket, that we have, and Roll Tide and Big Al, our elephant. There's so much tradition, but the pomping and the homecoming tradition is definitely my favorite.
Thank you. And questions have slowed down, but I'll allow this moment for any additional questions that participants may have.
What does transitioning to campus for freshmen or freshwomen look like? What activities are implemented to ensure a smooth transition from home or from childhood to, say, adulthood or independence?
I think we do a really good job at this. And again, I'm just going to mention that 86% first year retention rate. One thing that will probably differ in our process compared to a lot of other colleges and universities is we bring our families into the experience. With so many students coming from out of state, we find that it's really important to educate your families as well as just the student and include them in that process. We start with our orientations. We offer about 15 different dates throughout the summer. And in addition to just the students coming for their orientation, we offer a parent and family orientation. It's not required, but I highly recommend it. And it's a 2-day experience. And we even offer a sibling orientation at the same time. And we have a fantastic parent support page that just gives all the resources, because they need to know what all the resources are. And then, so we get you down there to campus for orientation, and then we have a couple of different early move-in options. And they're not required, but sorority recruitment will come. I know I mentioned honors action. We have biology boot camp, because biology is a big major for us. We do marching band comes to campus early. And then we have a camp called Camp 1831, and it's open to anyone. And it is literally just what it sounds like. It is summer camp. And so you can come down to Tuscaloosa. I think you come down on Thursday or Friday, move into your residence hall room, and then we literally bus you out to a summer camp with upperclassmen. And you just do a lot of icebreakers and fun activities. You learn the fight song, you learn the traditions. So that's an option. And then just for a student who comes right at the time to start classes, we have our week of welcome, and we do an event called Get On Board Day. And it is an outdoor expo of all 600 clubs and organizations on our campus, with free food, t-shirts, gifts, swag. So you come out to Get On Board Day. They make sure it's outside. So if it's raining one of those days, it gets moved to another day. And then they do a follow-up activity. And I always recommend that all my students get involved in at least one club or organization that fall term freshman year. And if you don't know where to start at Alabama, we even have a club called the 49. And to be a member, you have to be an out-of-state student. So ta-da, my North Carolina students already qualify. I had a student from Enloe that served as an officer for them. But I think we do a really, really good job of that. We even have a program for second semester where if you've identified a friend or a student that you think is having trouble with the transition, you can refer them to that program through our first year initiative. But it's something that I think we're really strong at.
Are there any study abroad programs that are popular in particular?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to share a different screen with you guys, and I'll show you just kind of a study abroad snapshot. Can you guys see that?
No, we still see
No?
your presentation.
All right, let me try this. Sorry.
That's okay.
All right, thank you for bearing with me. Can you see it now?
Yes.
All right. So education abroad is important to me. I was a Spanish major and I went to Ecuador. So I love this stuff. So I know I mentioned 60 different countries, so you can kind of see some of the top countries. Some things that I learned from our education abroad office is they're seeing more and more students studying abroad earlier on in their academic career than say when I was in college. And so we do have students going their freshman and sophomore years. And I know being a College of Engineering, sometimes that's a hard major to go and study abroad in. But we have a great program with chemical engineering that goes abroad. We also have, a mixture of programs. So we have UA-led programs that go abroad. So I know that STEM MBA program that I mentioned, they offer 4 different abroad experiences just to their students. Nursing offers nursing-related study abroad volunteer opportunities. So you can kind of see a lot of different statistics on there. These are some of the top places that our students have gone, and obviously study abroad has become more and more popular. We have a blog that our students run and also an Instagram account too.
Okay, Ms. Hopper, did you say you were a student there?
No, sir.
Okay, just wanted to check that.
Yeah, no, I have an undergrad degree from a small liberal arts institution called Mercyhurst University and a master's degree from the University of Chapel Hill, UNC Chapel Hill.
Thank you.
So I don't see any more questions, but I'd like to ask a last one. How were you able, or can you speak on how the University of Alabama supported students during this COVID-19 time, being that so many of them are from out of state?
Yeah, absolutely. So for us, how COVID happened, it happened around our spring break. So it started to really ramp up the week before our spring break, and then our students left for spring break. And on spring break, they made the decision to move everything off campus. And then they also prorated housing and meal plans. So our students did get refunded money because they obviously weren't going to be on campus. I've been very pleased being at a large school. Again, we have a lot of resources available. So people worked hard and tirelessly to get the electronic infrastructure up. Obviously, it wasn't without hiccups, but I think we responded really well. As far as like making decisions for the fall, I'll say we weren't the first school to prorate and make those decisions. We are kind of in the middle of the pack, so I see us in the middle of the pack for fall too. Obviously, the goal is to be back on campus, and that's what we plan and intend to be doing. We are still not open for visitors to campus, although all of our freshmen have been able to come back and move out of their residence halls and get their belongings. So we have done that. And then we did make the decision to move all of our orientations online just for an equity of experience. Our first orientation was actually yesterday. And we didn't want someone who was signed up for one later in the summer to have a different experience. So we're trying to look at everything from an equity standpoint of experience and very hopeful, but I've been very pleased with the response. Sometimes I wish we made the decisions faster, but I think being middle of the pack isn't always necessarily a bad place to be either.
And a question, given a huge emphasis on sports, what resources does the University of Alabama put in place to ensure a timely graduation for their student athletes? And what are the graduation rates for student athletes?
Yeah, so I don't have the graduation rate specifically for student athletes. That's something that I would have to look up. Just as a school as a whole, the 6-year graduation rate at UA is 71%. I know that that doesn't sound great, but the national average for public institutions in the United States is 60%. So we're 11 percentage points above the national average. We have a Finish in 4 initiative where students have access to a program called DegreeWorks. When I was in college, anytime you were thinking of changing your major, talk to your academic advisor and look at a pen and a piece of paper and see how your credits would transfer. DegreeWorks allows you to do that instantaneously online. So it's easy to see if you're going to change your major, how that will change your graduation trajectory with us. The one thing I'll say that I think we do a really good job of doing is getting our students in the classes that they need. Again, this is my 7th year working for the university. And I maintain some really good relationships with my students and alumni and families. And I've never once heard feedback that my student wasn't able to get into a class that they needed or anything like that that would impede anything. So I think that we do a good job, but obviously things happen that can delay that, the graduation. But for the most part, I think we're doing a lot of stuff to help support. And then I know I can't give specific numbers on athletics, but I will say if you follow the Alabama football social media accounts, you'll see a lot of our football players are graduating and coming back even from the NFL. Derrick Henry earned his degree this year, and Julio Jones and Amari Cooper. So some of our big guys that are in the NFL that left early do earn their degrees with us too, which is pretty cool.
We're at about time, so if there are any more questions, feel free to add them to the chat box. But in the meantime, we'd like to remind students to fill out our survey, and I just put the link in the chat box. And that's just for us to improve our services, and you also get considered for the running of a $20 Amazon gift card.
Well, thank you guys for having me today. I really enjoyed it, and I love the work that you're doing. And if I can be of help, please continue to reach out. And it would not be a meeting with Alabama without saying Roll Tide. So Roll Tide.